Hey everybody, welcome back to another session in the online Magic the Gathering arena during June, which is Evergreen Tribal Month. I'm Travis, welcome to Tpull's Corner. Today's mechanic we're going tribal with is Reach. After flying, it's probably the simplest mechanic there is. A creature with Reach can block the creatures with flying. We did flying last time. Flying is valuable for getting around your opponent's landlocked defenders. Reach is a little bit more troublesome to try and do a tribal deck because, it's Reach. What if they don't have flyers? What if they only have one or two flyers? So, it's not the most perfect kind of deck to create. We just do this once each year. We're going to make a Reach deck, just for the newer players mostly. Just so they can see what kinds of stuff we can get up to. In this, we may not have to worry about any flyers at all, because this might be the pre-made werewolf deck we're up against. In which case, we do get the 1/4 to turn into a 3/5, if they let it change tonight. And they do let it change tonight. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna pump up some creatures here. And they choose to let them both through, taking a lot of damage. They tap out to bring down one, but they can't really afford to attack now. So they're on defense, right? What do we want to do against these guys? I kind of feel like just attacking with one should be enough. They're going to let the 7 points through? Wow. Okay. We'll flash in our other creature that has Reach. We will take out Tpull, and we'll let the other one through. How about that? We beat a pre-made werewolf deck. It looked like they had problems with drawing land, so it's not like we can claim a lot of credit for that necessarily, but at least we didn't mess it up. Alright, let me go in and show you the whole deck, because that was a little too fast. For the newer people, we do once a year, when it hits June, I do an Evergreen tribal theme for the month where we take the Evergreen terms which describe the mechanics that are always in every expansion set Wizards of the Coast makes. And Reach is always going to be in every expansion set. And we have several expansions to work with here. So we've got a green and red deck, and we've got a little bit of red removal spells to help us out along the way. A Braid for Artifacts, Lightning Strike, Volcanic Spite, the newest one from the newest expansion, March of the Machines. This they've done similar cards like this before for red damage. 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and since we're dealing with March of Machines, they added a battle, and then you can put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, you draw a card. So a little bit way to fix your hand. For some of the Reach creatures, we've got 4 2-drops with Rock Hunter, 3/1 with Reach, and flyers typically they can have less power and more toughness. So for an early defender, this is pretty good because they might have like a 1/2 flyer or a 1/3 flyer, and this way we can defend, and it might be an even trade. If we get an early hit in, that's nice to have a 3/1 for an attacker early on too. Trax's Fall, again, to destroy target artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature with flying. So we've got a way to kill a battle at least. Snare Spinner, 1/3, so mostly a defender. If it blocks a creature flying, it gets 2 added to its power. So for 2 mana, you end up with a 3/3 blocker. Invasion of Ikoria, a battle of our own. We can search our library or graveyard for non-human creature cards, mana value X or less, and put it onto the battlefield. And then we can get an 8/8 creature with reach later. So that's if the game goes long. Call in a professional. When I'm playing red, I usually have at least one of these to combat life gain on the part of the opponent. It does 3 damage. Rending Flame, 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And Seismic Wave, in case we come up against swarms, 2 damage to any target, 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. Birded Admirer has reach, as you saw. That can turn into a 3/5 at nighttime. The Bounding Wolf we can flash in, which is kind of handy when the opponent's not expecting it. High-Rise Sawjack is sort of similar to the Snare Spinner. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets 2 added to its toughness. It's a higher casting cost to start with, so we start off with a 2/3 instead of a 1/3. And instead of ending up with a 3/3, you end up with a 4/3. Llanowar Green Widow, let's say that 3 times fast, has both reach and trample. In the domain aspect, you can return the Widow from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Costs less to activate for each basic land type, so instead of 8, it'll cost 6, really. 1 copy of Foreboding Statue. This is kind of for color fixing. If we have any kind of land problems, but we still get 3, we could put this down and tap it for land. If we do it enough times, it turns into a 5/5 creature. Honored Heirloom is our graveyard hate card. Get a mana fixer early on, and you can exile a target card from graveyard. Twin Shot Sniper deals 2 damage to any target, and it has reach, so I like that utility. Besieger reaches skyward, and we end up with a branch of Besieger. So, 4/4, 5/5, 6/6 kind of creature with reach. I like that. Hoarding Recluse has both reach and death touch, so if they have a really big flyer, we could still take it out. When it dies, you put up to 1 other target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So if they've got something that they could bring out of the graveyard that we're afraid of, we could throw it on the bottom of their deck. Invasion of Zendikar, just for ramping up the lands mostly. The creature that comes back doesn't have haste. It just has it doesn't have reach. It has vigilance or haste. It has both of those. But we're really looking just to get the 2 basic land cards out for that. We have 3 copies of Helena and Elena to sort of boost everybody up. It has reach, so it qualifies for this deck in terms of the theme. Onaki Javelineer is a 5 costing 5/4 with reach. You can also tap it and deal 2 damage to a target player or battle. The Wrecking Crew has both reach and trample, so it can defend against flyers, and if it attacks, 4 points of trample damage. That's not bad. Vorinclex, for a change, has reach as well. This is a mythic rare from March of the Machines, Phyrexian Praetor. You can search your library for 2 forest cards as well, and you can always turn it into, assuming that you have 8 mana available, which, by the time you get Vorinclex out and search for the lands and stuff, you're probably not too far from having the 8 mana. Then you can turn it into the Enchantment Saga and do all sorts of nasty stuff to your opponent. Renin 7 has the -3 ability to give a Treefolk creature token with reach. Sky Scythe Engulfer, this is from Phyrexia, has both reach and trample. It can't be blocked by creatures with flying, so we can block all the flyers, but the flyers can't block us. Timberland Ancient also costs 6, has reach and trample, and if we get it too early, we can just forest cycle it, so we pay 2 mana and pull up a forest out of our deck. And finally, Titan of Industry, which has reach and trample. So a lot of the bigger creatures especially have both reach and trample, so they're big enough to sort of reach the sky and intercept your flyers, and they're big enough in power and imposing enough that they also have the trample damage. So that's pretty much it. It's a fairly simple deck. We've got just a teensy bit of first strike in there, a teensy bit of haste, teensy bit of trample. In the older days when I first started, I was probably a lot more conscientious about having only the one keyword I was focusing on. But Wizards has gotten a little more complicated over time as they've made their cards. They're much more willing to add traits on and have double traits on a single card and that kind of thing. So I don't shy away from that anymore. These are intended more for the newer viewers who, maybe you haven't come up against all flying decks before. Maybe you maybe you don't look at reach that much as a viable mechanic. But we're going to shine a light on reach, but we don't shy away if there are some other mechanics involved. We're not going to ignore them. And let's see, I think we'll go ahead and just force cycle this now. Because they're going to put out a bunch of 1/1 Death Touchers. So we may not have a ton of time. That's a good trade for them, right? Now they have a flyer. Well, we've got the expensive stuff right now, so we can't quite stop that. Let's see. I think we just get rid of the Thrumming Bird because it can proliferate, and the proliferate brings the hybrid back each time. We're kind of flooding out with land. If this keeps up, we'll be able to put out the Titan soon. They just got poison every turn, poison every turn. Alright, let's put out Vornpex. Yep, they've got the Exile. Nearly dead. If one of these is another control card that exiles, we could be in a lot of trouble. Okay, so let's see. Proliferate, poison. I guess we can't do both. So let's go ahead and put out the token and give a shield counter. If they're just using Anoint with Affliction, the shield counter won't help us. No, never mind. They just kill us with poison. Well, we kind of got too many lands and not any of our normal removal spells, so you're at the luck of the draw there. But you did see, when I did the Angel deck before, we didn't really come up... We came up against one deck that had other flyers that they could use against us. The rest of them were completely land-bound decks. And that is contrary to my normally daily experience on Arena. Most of the time, unless I'm up against mono green, I'm facing a lot of flyers. And we saw flyers there, so if it wasn't a poison deck, we would have fared a lot better. But they had exactly the cards they needed. They had all the poison synergy, and they just dogpiled right on top of us. White's going to take a tiny turn to get set up with their ramping. So we do get a little hit in. And I'm not sure why they discard Banishing Slash, because it's not a permanent. It can't come back. I like that artwork. That's kind of nice. Okay. What do we do next? How about Procedure reaches Skyward. Let's go get a couple of our force out. We don't have a lot of basic forests. So they exile that, but we still get this on the stack. And since they tapped out, we got some hits in. Wedding announcement is gross. What do we do here? Let's go ramp again. That's 2 of our 3 spells that go find stuff. Okay, you killed your own. You killed your own. Okay, that's fine, right? That's fine. Here, we'll get rid of you before you get bigger, and we'll bring down the Wrecking Crew. We're not doing too shabby. Depends on kind of how many more of the board wipes they have in here. That's a 6, huh? Well, let's just bring this puppy down there. We'll have it destroy the artifact and put a shield counter. That feels good. They're gonna get rid of everybody. Okay. Let's see here. How many can I bring in here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could do 6. 6 or less, right? Auto pay. Let's search the graveyard. Let's go get Vorinclex again. That lets us get our final couple of forests out. So we've done all the thing out of the deck we basically can do. They've got a lot of extra cards. Okay, what are we doing here? We can do the mill 10 type thing. I feel like I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to do Vorinclex. Grand Evolution. We can get... okay, we get 2 creatures. There we go. We don't have any more things to search for. We used a Vorinclex to get a Vorinclex. I'm not sure that was the greatest... Oh, they got rid of that. Okay. Now we're down to 28. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're bothering to attack there. Maybe that was why. Alright, what do we want to do next? How about we put out somebody who can do that. And then for the rest, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a sorcery only. That's an instant. Let's do this for the sorcery. Gets rid of the shield counter. No attacks. We'll put down the Bird Admirer. He got rid of my other Vorinclex. What a beast. Okay. Gets rid of 3 of those. I'm okay with that. Didn't do a spell. So we pump up the next one. And they like the idea of just stalling until they get a better card. They don't have much with trample here, and I'm just kind of flooding out. Let's go get another draw card here. And I think we do this. We'll go after the battle again. They should try and stop me with just jumping with 1/1 blockers. Do I have enough time to get everything done until they get something good? Aha! Destroy artifact. And let's go ahead and do a Rhino. Get rid of your chump blockers. Let's give counters to this one. And we're just going to transform that one while we go after the battle. Now our problem is they could come up with another board wipe. They've used 2 already. Look at that. They get rid of everything except the battle. Ouch. Let's get rid of that so it doesn't build up anymore. I need something else with reach. That was not going to be helpful. Let's draw another card. Come on. Oh, you serious? That is just not right. We've got reach against flyers and we just can't do any good. Again, we're stuck. And that's perfect matchup against Mondrak. And he's got enough. Okay, so if we block here, we've got first strike. And then we can just do 3 damage to it. But I just flooded out with land way too much, which is really weird because I got all those forests out. I mean, I did a lot of ramping and thinning out of the deck of land. And they still haven't caught up to me in land. And, okay. I think I just won too many times. Okay. I mean, granted, they did a lot of, I mean, I'm dead no matter what, so... I can't in the middle of the game draw 3 lands in a row while they get a Mondrak and an AO. That's just preposterous. But we withstood 3 board wipes and a couple of removal spells that got rid of our most powerful creatures, so not a bad showing overall. And you'll notice we are coming up against a lot of flyers. We would have been dead a lot sooner without having the reach ability here. But I do feel a little limited by the theme, by focusing overly much on reach. Couldn't cast a open mana spell, but if we put down the tap land, we can play removal next turn if we need to. Yeah, we'll let them do that. Death Bonnet and Stick Fingers. If we get rid of this, they can't activate it, right? Because it just goes completely into exile. So I like that. Let's put the Foreboding Statue down now, because that gives us a little bit extra mana and more chances to trigger it and turn it into the Forsaken Thresher. If it scares out removal from them, we can still play something next turn. We made him think. Oh, just kill the statue already. Come on. You know you want to. Called it. Is it worth it to kill a 2 mana costing creature just to save you from a hit or 2? This deck has flyers as well. Really? Alright. Let's go ahead and put out the Javelineer. They should only be able to have removal for one of these. They do have something holding up priority. They should have at least one more Infernal Grasp. They might not have it right this second. This is the Grave Matters pre-made deck. Ah, Tear Sunder, okay. Half the time they end up milling that away. They actually are making good use of their removal so far. That's a little early. I think it feels a little desperate to play that card this soon. Oh, that's why they did it, though. Okay. Yet another removal. Okay. They have not missed a land drop yet. What are the odds the remaining two cards are removal cards? I don't think they have two Eaten Alives, do they? They do! Well, this is starting to hurt. I'm running out of ammo. Might as well draw a card. Not again. I only have 24 lands. I've got the standard number of lands. This is getting a little ridiculous. 9 lands to 6. And they get their most powerful card. I'll trade you hit for hit. It's only going to get bigger. They've gotten most of their removal up already. Infernal Grasp, Tear Sunder, and 2 of the Eaten Alives. This should put the nail in the coffin. Target me to gain the life. Give me a shield counter. Let this have haste, so we can attack with both of those. That's a big 9 points of damage. I guess I should have just attacked with Helena and Elena, so that's my fault. And we're done. They didn't get any of their flyers out. Their flyers are the ones that they can sacrifice any creature, and then we have to sacrifice one of our creatures. They got their removal instead. Hey, you? Hang on a second, let me close down my recording. Alright, so let me go in. We will go ahead and show you the deck one last time. And we're going to keep it short just because Reach is a very simple mechanic. And I just got a phone call I have to take. But we'll let you look at this for a couple minutes. And the mechanic was Reach. And we tried to get a nice little sampling of a whole bunch of different creatures that you could use that were applicable to it. And I think I'm pretty happy with the deck with the ramping capability and the balance between the small and the large creatures. Kind of expensive, but mostly 2 and 3 drops, and the ramp helped us get up to the powerful stuff really fast. So with that, we'll leave it there, and remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks everybody, have a good one.